Coming up on today's show, Samsung Galaxy S3 tops mobile charts for 7th straight month.
LinkedIn reveals its most useless, overused buzzwords.
Pakistan cracks down on late-night mobile phone packages.
And we put the Samsung Galaxy S3 and the Apple iPhone 5 side to side to give you our verdict on which one is the must-have gadget for the coming year.
All of that and much more on a brand new episode of Insight. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Insight, the same show you've been watching in the past, but with all new features and a new co-host.
That's right, we're going to give you all the latest technology news as usual, but we'll also put some of those gadgets to the test so that we can give you as much information as possible.
So firstly, despite all the hype surrounding Apple, Samsung's Galaxy S3 was the UK's most popular smartphone in November, with top 10 entries for the aging but still highly rated Galaxy S2 at 4th place, while Galaxy Ace, Galaxy Note 2 and Galaxy Ace 2 came in at 6th, 7th and 10th places respectively.
Now internationally, the Samsung has been the top smartphone for the last quarter, knocking off Apple's iPhone from the top spot. Now, Apple, of course, dominated the chart for more than 2 years, but Samsung sold 18 million S3 models in the third quarter, compared with iPhone 4S sales of 16.2 million.
The sales helped Samsung post a record $7.3 billion profit for that quarter. Research firms are ranking Samsung as the world's top smartphone seller for the year. Samsung sold 56.3 million smartphones between July and September compared to Apple's 26.9 million. However, Samsung does have a larger range of smartphone handsets than Apple.
Now, of course, like any Apple product, the iPhone 5 is flying off the shelves, but so are the iPhone 4 and 4S. A report from the Consumer Intelligence Research Partners says that the iPhone 5 comprised only 68% of the total iPhone sales in its first month on sale in a survey of 500 Apple purchases in the US.
That's still a majority of phones that Apple sold, but it's a far cry from the 90% share that the iPhone 4S enjoyed in its first month, meaning that cheaper iPhones are still strong. The launch of the iPhone 4S in 2011 marked the first time Apple offered a trio of models at different price points.
It does seem like the question most people ask themselves when deciding on a smartphone is, should I go for the Samsung or the Apple? So we thought we'd help you out. Here's a look at the latest offerings from both companies. I've got the Samsung Galaxy S3.
And I've got the iPhone 5.
And let me just start with the Galaxy. It's very slim, very light, but so was the S2. But I have to say that the screen is a lot larger.
Yeah, screen size is quite different. I mean, if you can put them side by side. And I think web-wise as well, let's go on to Al-Islam.
Yeah.
And text, graphics, much more easier to see on the
See,
Samsung.
I mean, I can see a lot more of the web page on the screen there without having to zoom in. Okay, so I mean, that's in terms of the actual the screen size. What about the camera? What camera have you got on there?
The cameras are very similar. I mean, in terms of the rear camera, they're both 8 megapixels. The difference lies in the front camera. The iPhone has an HD camera, whereas the Galaxy that you're holding has a 2 megapixel camera.
Okay.
The talk time is significantly different.
Yeah.
22.5 hours.
That's right, and that is a huge difference because I know a lot of people have got the iPhone 5 and complaining about the battery life on that.
And it's only 8 hours. That's a striking difference between the two.
Yeah.
Web browsing is different as well, though. iPhone is actually better with 8 hours of LTE. Samsung, only 5 hours.
Yeah, that's right. But having said that, I mean, for me, it's all about the experience when you use the phone. And being able to use an Android device such as the Samsung, I'm able to customize the home screens and you get a much richer experience when going through the whole interface. Whereas with the iPhone 5, I mean, I have to say, although it works well, there hasn't been that development in terms of the interface. It's been the same thing that we've seen from the first generation iPhone.
I suppose it also depends on whether you're using a tab or whether you're using an iPad. When you've already purchased an iPad and you've got an iPhone, the two things match up together. Samsung, they're not doing too well with the tab.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of ways that Samsung would try to even emulate the technology you see in the iPhone. iPhone 5 has the Siri technology that it uses for voice recognition is really good. Samsung have got an equivalent I've tried out. I don't think it's as responsive.
What's all this about customizing a Samsung as well?
Well, for me, the whole user experience is just as important as the technology in the phone. And one thing I love about Android devices is being able to customize the home screens. And it just makes the whole experience a lot more richer. And I can actually change the navigation and having widgets and things like that on these home screens. And for me, that makes the whole interface a lot smoother, and it means that I can customize it to the way I use it. Whereas if you look at the iPhone, you just see a block of application icons, which is the same that we've seen from the iPhone since it started.
Yeah, and in terms of movies and videos, I'm sure it must be much more easier to actually view a movie on Samsung than it is to actually see that on the iPhone.
Well, the thing is, the Retina display on the iPhone is brilliant. But this extra size that you get in the Samsung, for me, I think that's a real plus point. It's really good. But for the viewers at home, I think the main thing here is that it depends on your usage. For me, I prefer the Samsung. Actually, the look of it is a bit more appealing to the eye, and the fact that I can customize it using the Android interface just works better for me. What do you think, Lee?
I think you have to go and try it out yourself. So there are a number of new releases out there for the tech fans. Apple has also just unveiled its brand new ultra slim iMac in its biggest product redesign in years. It looks like a two-dimensional mock-up, but it's the real deal. At its thinnest, the iMac measures just 5mm thick. Of course, to get it so thin, something had to give, which was the DVD drive.
I've seen this iMac, it's so thin, really unbelievable how they managed to do the technology. So the new iMac Editions product line omits the popular Retina display, which many experts say is disappointingly noticeable. But in addition to its typical features, Apple is using a new manufacturing process so that the iMac users will see up to 75% less glare on the screens. The new iMac also has a Fusion drive, which pairs 128GB of flash memory with the traditional hard drive.
Google has released version 2.0 of its Gmail app for the iPhone and iOS, with users saying it's a major advance. The new version lets you switch between up to 5 different accounts and offers a cleaner interface.
The Gmail app now lets you accept Google Calendar invites and adds other Google Plus related features. There's still quite a bit to be improved on, but it is a step in the right direction and should keep users from defecting to other email apps, for now at least.
Do you use Google much?
No, I don't really.
Those people that use it think it's wonderful.
That's right, there's so many advances, and it's definitely a step in the right direction. We'll see what the latest updates will be.
As Android-based smartphones and tablets start to take a lead over Apple, HTC has launched another smartphone, the HTC Droid DNA.
Now the Droid DNA is a 5-inch smartphone with a 1920 by 1080 display, giving it the same resolution as some of the best HD TV sets in the market, with a pixel density of 440 ppi.
And with 2012 coming to an end, South Korean electronics giant Samsung is already gearing up for what is bound to be an eventful 2013. Samsung is in the last stage of development of its flexible plastic organic light-emitting diode display, a technology that could give it an advantage over other smartphone makers.
Lighter and more flexible than traditional glass displays, the technology could allow Samsung to make its phones less prone to screen cracking. The advantages from changing from a glass screen is not only that it will make the device lighter and more durable, but also that it will cost less to manufacture.
It's always a huge worry whether you're going to drop your phone or something like that, and everyone goes around with these funny covers, so maybe this is the solution.
Who knows, it might be the right step.
Don't have glass. Text messaging is celebrating its 20th birthday this year. In 1992, the first SMS was sent from Neil Papworth's personal computer to his friend's Orbital 901 handset over the Vodafone GSM network.
Text messaging was first deployed commercially a year later in 1993, and after a relatively slow start, it has become one of the most popular ways for people to communicate with each other.
If you use the words creative, organisational, motivated or responsible in your LinkedIn profile, you may want to think again.
The business linking website has scored the profiles of its 187 million members and come up with its 2012 list of overused, useless buzzwords. LinkedIn officials say the words are instantly turn-offs to recruiters who see them over and over again.
Other popular but completely useless words include extensive experience, track record and analytical, and of course dynamic and communication skills.
It'd be best not to use them in the future then.
Yeah, don't use them.
Stay clear. Are you forever misplacing your personal things, like keys, your TV remote or wallet? Well, there is a solution for you, as long as you can find your phone.
A US firm has come up with a Bluetooth sticker that sticks to your valuables and can be detected by a smartphone app. It's about the size of a small coin and attaches via adhesive to any of your valuable possessions, including children.
The stickers send out a low-energy Bluetooth signal with a range of about 100 feet. The app includes a radar-like function to help you find the items, and another feature called Find It helps locate items out of reach by setting an alarm to sound as soon as they appear on the app's radar.
If you're having trouble creating the perfect password for your email accounts, a revolutionary biometric authentication system may be what you need.
Developers in America have designed software which monitors the timing gaps between letters that you type to continually verify your identity. The software learns the user's typing style by measuring the time between the key presses over 10 areas of the keyboard.
It's always a problem remembering so many passwords for so many different sites.
Yeah, that's right, and as the technology increases, we need more and more passwords.
It is proving to be a surprisingly accurate way of identifying individuals and could provide further defense and security online.
In science developments, car giant Volvo is developing no-death cars that drive themselves and are impossible to crash, ready for launch in showrooms within 8 years. The computerized vehicles will be fitted with high-tech sensors and will refuse to be steered into other objects.
Volvo says that it will be on sale to customers by 2020, but that some of the life-saving technology will be incorporated into its vehicles even earlier, from 2014. The first versions of the crash-free cars would mean for driving in towns at a maximum speed of 31 miles per hour. It is part of a race by leading car manufacturers including Volvo, Ford, Mercedes-Benz, BMW, Vauxhall and even Google to build fully automated robo-cars that can drive themselves.
I'm not sure what kind of a future that would mean for us, but it might be, something that could increase road safety, which I guess is something that everyone wants.
And it's the end of chauffeurs, possibly.
Who knows? So the search for life on Mars continues after NASA announced that its latest rover had not found any. The announcement came earlier this month after the Curiosity rover completed its first chemical test of Martian soil, stirring up public speculation that the rover had found signs of life. Curiosity, which touched down on the red planet on August the 6th, is the first Mars rover able to scoop up soil into an analytical instrument.
The rover did find a simple carbon compound, but scientists have yet to determine whether it is native to the red planet or came from elsewhere. Officials say, however, that exploration doesn't really get into full gear until next year, when Curiosity packs it up and heads to its true scientific destination, the enormous Mount Sharp.
And finally today, Pakistan Telecommunication Authority's recent crackdown on mobile operators' late-night packages has stirred up considerable controversy within the country. Pakistan's mobile phone industry has come a long way since the times of fixed landlines to mobile phones, and has in fact become an essential part of people's lives in the country.
Recent times have seen the introduction of special packages offering cheap call rates during both peak and off-peak hours. However, the late-night packages are receiving criticism from some parts of Pakistani society. People believe that the trend of the late-night phone calls promote Western culture and is in fact a departure from traditional Pakistani social norms and values.
Now, analysts believe that the late-night packages are a significant source of revenue for telecommunication companies, and the ban would hit the consumers as hard as companies themselves, as they would have to pay a higher rate for the same service. That's all the time that we have for on this episode of Insight. We'll be back in a couple of weeks with more technology news and reviews.
We want to hear what you think about the stories and products we've talked about today. Send us your comments to news@mta.tv and we'll share them at our next show.
Thanks for joining us. Assalamu alaikum.